Warning: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I do not condone or recommend the usage of illicit drugs, and I especially do not recommend using Diphenhydramine or Benadryl as it is commonly referred to in anything larger than a medical dose. Usage of Diphenhydramine outside of that threshold can lead to serious health complications including seizures or even death. Hey everyone, this is Pills Am I Right, and I wanted to say sorry for how long it's been since I last uploaded. Motivation comes in waves, but I will try to make my upload schedule much more consistent. The dosage listed in this first trip report is beyond massive and around the equivalent of 220 entire Benadryl pills. I can guarantee that this dosage is accurate, however, as this trip has been sent in from a friend of mine with permission to put it on the channel. I have only known of 2 people who survived a dose of over 5 grams, and both of them will tell you don't fucking do it. With that said, please enjoy the trip report. This was not a suicide attempt, this was the result of curiosity and intense mania. 8:30 p.m. I began dosing. This took me about 30 minutes. 9:08 p.m. I had just finished dosing, already feeling the body high of DPH. 9:20 p.m. I'm seeing spiders and people on Discord are telling me to call an ambulance or puke it up. The urge to vomit sets in as well. 9:30 p.m. I somehow ended up in the bath. This was my first blackout during this trip. The bathroom walls are made of spiders and they're crawling all over me. 10 p.m. The ambulance has been called and they are on the way. I'm having trouble knowing what's going on around this time. I see and hear an ambulance arrive. I sent some pictures to a Discord server and none of them saw it since this was a hallucination. I lost my phone for a bit and found it in my hand. 10:15 p.m. There are heavy static, lots of voices and people. My parents even visit my room, but they just stand there. I can only assume what I said to them was gibberish as I can't remember. 10:30 p.m. The ambulance arrived a few minutes ago. At this point everything I can see is malformed and mutilated. It doesn't seem like my home anymore. I try explaining the situation to the first responders, but I can't because they don't understand. Soon their faces melt into blood and flesh. This does not scare me. I just accept it. Time unknown. This is after getting in the ambulance. I don't know the time anymore and I'm incapable of asking at this point. I've accepted this is probably the end. I black out once more and wake up the next morning. Bugs are everywhere and no one seems human. They have me restrained to a bed due to the fact I was apparently violent towards the staff, trying to attack them and calling them demons. At this point the effects are like a 500 to 600 milligrams trip, but I am functional again. They took me to a psychiatric ward later that day. Afterthoughts: don't take 5.5 grams unless you want to try to attack EMTs. If you're enjoying the video, please do consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel. 175 milligrams of Olanzapine dosed at once. I've been unable to find dosage information on this subject. I take it as an antipsychotic medication, but I'd heard you could abuse it. I was looking for a benzo high because it is in the family, but I didn't expect delirium from something made to prevent it. The rest of the trip borders on indescribable due to the blackouts, but I'll report what I can and what my parents told me the day after. After about 40 minutes I was feeling off. I had to piss but I couldn't. Everything was becoming foggy like a DPH trip. No real visuals yet, but I could barely stand. After another 30 minutes I tried to go to sleep because the voices were back and they kept telling me I was dying. I couldn't say if it was from the drug or my bipolar disorder, as I was in a manic episode for this trip. About an hour and a half and I went to my parents' room because I couldn't sleep. I was apparently speaking in gibberish and was talking to a wall for about 20 minutes instead of my parents. They woke up part way through. I told them I was tired and tried sleeping on the couch, but I kept getting up for some reason and talking to my boyfriend, who of course wasn't there. A good 2 to 3 hours into the trip I'm being driven to the hospital, still talking to people who aren't there. This is where I lost track of time entirely and the blackouts became constant, so the rest of the trip has no time stamps. Blackout 1: I remember slapping a nurse's hand because I thought she was putting a spider in my nose when she was doing a COVID test. Blackout 2: I woke up restrained to the bed. I had to pee, so they brought me a drug test and had me pee in that. I lied and told them I had been taking Benadryl. Blackout 3: I woke up the next day unrestrained. I had to stay awake for an hour to be discharged. It was uneventful, just foggy. I was discharged after an hour. I don't remember most of the day after this. In my advice, this is not a deliriant to be abused. It's closer to an actual psychotic episode than Benadryl, and unless you can explain it to the nurses in your delirious state, don't do it, because they gave me more benzos and respiratory depression almost killed me. While trip reports are entertaining to listen to, please remember that using DPH doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you, as during this trip myself and countless others were worried that the person who took this dose would survive. Thank you for watching. This is Pills Am I Right, signing off till next time.